All right, well, I mean, you already know how this is gonna go. We're 7 episodes in to SmackDown on Fox, and to say that it's been a complete disaster would probably be the mother of all understatements. I mean, they couldn't have handled this any more poorly. Would it be possible to have a worse string of shows than what they've had? You know, Fox tells them they want this show to have a sports feel. I'm not even sure I agree with that, because that kind of makes me think that that's more like wrestling than like promos and stories. So I don't even know how to take that. But anything would be better than what they were doing on the USA Network. So, if anything, it actually seems like the shows have gotten worse since the USA Network. Is that even possible? I think that it is. Because these shows have been so terrible and so bad, and they have, I don't know, they've really seemed like they've really pushed the envelope of terribleness in more ways than one. And I think you kind of see that in the reviews. I mean, I can't possibly detest this show and this product any more than what it already is. You already saw that with the Raw reviews. I tried, guys. I tried to do Raw reviews again, but I just can't. I can't even watch the clips on YouTube to give an opinion on like some of the major storylines going on. I can't even watch another Lana, Rusev, Bobby Lashley storyline, even to make fun of it. I just can't, because it's just, I mean, what am I going to be watching there? Is it even worth it just to say that it's bad? I think the Fox shows are more interesting because this is new territory. I just cannot believe that Fox is okay with this product. I mean, obviously we have no idea what's being communicated to them, but you would think that, like, after last week, after the Chihuahua Baron Corbin promo, you would think that someone from Fox would be like, guys, come on. I mean, we put you on Fox. We paid you, multi-billion-dollar contract deal. Could you at least, like, if you're not going to put your best foot forward, can you put like half of a good foot forward or something like that? No, what do? Let's go right into the show, because they open it up and Baron Corbin, he's in the ring with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And, here are like two guys that I've said for years should be main eventers. I know a lot of people disagree about Ziggler, but I think most people would probably agree with Bobby Roode, or Robert Roode. Was it so necessary that we change his name? And I believe that he actually started off as Robert Roode in TNA, if I'm not mistaken, when he was part of Team Canada. I might be wrong about that. Whatever the case may be, is Bobby Roode not like, enough? The charisma, the look, everything, the skills in the ring, the skills on the mic. Is that not enough? Must he be reduced to, the smallest insect-sized form that he could possibly be in, of being a lackey to Baron Corbin? And I'm a Baron Corbin fan, you all know this, but I mean, both of these guys. Ziggler is a guy who's won the title, who had a big moment on Raw, winning a big title to a boisterous crowd. It's almost like that didn't even happen. Ziggler's had 1,000 different restarts, 1,000 promos, these work shoot promos where he screams at the camera. But that's neither here nor there. Because if that was, we'd go into that more if this is what this segment was about, and that was just all that annoyed me with it. It couldn't just be a standard run-of-the-mill promo. If you're not going to give us a good promo, at least let it be standard run-of-the-mill, uneventful. So it really begs the question, would I rather have something where they they come up with an idea to do something different, I suppose, but it's completely horrible, or would I rather them just, sleepwalk through a promo? I can't even believe I even need to say that. What is better? Pick your poison, pretty much. But they got to go with having a guy dressed up as a dog to mock Roman Reigns, and they do the Roman Reigns theme song, and it's like like it's a chihuahua barking the song, and I'm like, okay, let me play devil's advocate here. Right? Let me sound like a nut job for 2 seconds here. It's like, okay, it's kind of like those commercials you see on TV. In my opinion, we get some of the cringiest commercials. Not talking about WWE ones, just in general. Even Super Bowl commercials. They're horrible. They're terrible. They try to be trendy. I feel like they tried to do something that might have been funny or viral, maybe, play into like some sort of meme culture. I'm stretching it, I know, but I'm just saying, I think that they really thought that they had something good here. Okay, maybe we messed up last week, guys. Maybe we shouldn't have just had a CGI dog head barking to drive the point home that, that the big dog's bark is weakening. It's sounding a bit like a chihuahua, like Baron Corbin was saying. So why don't we actually, drive the point home, by actually taking it literally and actually putting it out there. Haha, right? Like LOL, LMAO, and all that. And so what did they do here? Let's bark the theme song. People will find that funny, and then we'll also have the guy come out. Like, do they not realize, like, dressing up like this is like something you would see not even in a kid's show nowadays? I mean, like, what are they doing here? Like, this is like prime time on Fox. Like The Simpsons used to be on at 8 o'clock. I've talked about this extensively. The other shows that have been on Fox, that have had raunchier, or not even raunchy. Let's not even get into that. Let's just talk about just, adult, like, content here. Just, and I don't mean, like, racy stuff and raunchy stuff. I'm just talking about stuff that's not for the lowest common denominator. I know we're talking about wrestling. I know we're talking about sports entertainment, and this is not, wear a monocle, sip some tea type of, classy stuff. But, I mean, a guy in a dog suit coming down, bowing down to Baron Corbin. I mean, am I supposed to laugh? I mean, I'm laughing like in a roll my eyes, cringy kind of way, because it's become just a meme at this point. It's become a complete cringy joke that, like, this. How does this make this on the TV? It's, they're all marks over there at Fox. I understand that. You have the production guy posing with Bray Wyatt. So they're all like big fans and all that. So that's just great. But okay, why, so do they think the show is good? Because if they're watching the ratings, they can't be happy with that. I don't know what it is, big brand or not. If you don't get good ratings, advertisers are not going to buy time on your channel during the show. So like this reality, it really escapes me how this is okay. That this is like a status quo to them. Like, yeah, everything is just fine. You would think at this point that they would be, really analyzing these shows and showing them specifically what they need to change, or just forget about that. Just telling them, guys, you got to get these ratings up. It's really, really bad. I mean, nothing has changed. They're getting the same thing that they got on USA. Maybe slightly better. I think it's maybe slightly better. But we've got a match. It's Shorty G and Ali, and they defeat Ziggler and Rude. And I need to ask a question, like, why does, like, Roman Reigns run out there? And like, the other funny thing is, like, I don't think he didn't even attack the mascot guy dressed up as the dog. I thought that would have been funny. But, man, like, I just can't help but think that Roman Reigns is, like, they've knocked him down so far. Like, I was watching the GQ interview. This is such a likable guy. I mean, because a bunch of goofballs said, I don't like him. They just, forget about Roman Reigns. He's like, now he really is. He's a mid-carder. He's opening the show, doing a run-in. He's, like, not even involved. You don't even see him for the rest of the night. There's, no follow-up on Roman or anything. Corbin names himself the team captain. And why is Roman so, like, palsy with Ali and Shorty G? Like, and they beat Robert Roode and Ziggler here. And I'm like, why? Like, how is this team, like, nothing is appealing, nothing is good here. How is this team? Now, you could say that these two guys are athletic, but I mean, you look at Shorty G, you look what this guy is wearing, you listen to the promos he's cut. This is not a likable character. Ali, he's a spot monkey. I don't know. There's 1,000 Alis on the roster. There's 1,000 Alis in AEW. Just, guys that, take bumps and, flip around like crazy. I mean, it's been done. He brings nothing to the table in terms of character, look, nothing. Ali is not putting any butts in any seats. He's not raising the ratings. Why? Why is this guy even on the show? And the same thing goes for Shorty G. How can anyone with a name like Shorty G even draw? And the guys that have opportunities to really intrigue audiences, like Robert Roode with his character and everything, they gimp these people. You're getting these guys that they honestly, they put them at a handicap that they don't even need to be put at. I mean, look at a guy like EC3. Look how talented and charismatic he is. You haven't even seen him on a single episode of SmackDown. I think he might be on Raw. I don't know where he is. He's like on Main Event. You have to watch him on the network. You might have not even known that the guy exists. If you're tuning in for the first time and you don't even know a talented guy like EC3 exists. But instead, all these NXT mamalukes are all getting FaceTime on the show. But a guy like EC3, he's got to sit that one out. And I understand that Elias is injured, but how is this guy not finding other things to do on the show when one of his main draws is his promo power and his character? Does he need to be off the show? I mean, you can't find anything for this guy to do. Like, he can't be a commentator, for example, to remind us that the guy still exists. Think about this. He hasn't been on a single episode of SmackDown since it's been on Fox. And he's one of their most talented and actually one of their most over heels. I don't know what to tell you. But, you got Shorty G and Ali going over in this match. I'm left scratching my head just like every single week, just like every single show. What is going on here? How is Roman Reigns falling so far? How are people walking out in dog costumes? How is any of this making it onto the show? And I wish that could be the worst thing on the show. And it very well might be. And, I'm probably going to make fun of that in the thumbnail, because we have to all laugh at that. But it doesn't stop there. Okay, so, we get Bray Wyatt unveiling the new Universal title. It's blue. That's pretty much it. And he might have changed, the little things on the side, the little logo plates. So it looks good in blue. I think it looks better than it does in red. But it's the same title. It's on SmackDown. So obviously, they have to do that. And I just wish that there could just be one title on this show. I mean, I still can't believe, like, years back, remember in the end of, what was it? The end of 2013, they unified the titles only to, break them apart again, like, just a few years later. It made no sense at all. Due to their bad booking, they like, booked themselves into some weird sort of thing where they had, like, no choice but to break the titles apart again. But you always do have a choice. They just, for some reason, found themselves in the same situation they were in years, proving that they make the same mistakes over and over. So, Brace here, he acts like a magician, entertaining, good, for what that was anyway. Then we get one of the weirdest segments I've ever seen, like, so far on Fox from them. The B Team and Gulak are in the ring. They're saying that, Gulak is saying that he wants to take Braun's spot. These guys have never interacted with each other before. The only thing that they have in common here is that last week Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman, they beat them. They beat up the B Team. And leading up to the Tyson Fury match, remember Braun beat up Gulak maybe twice, and that's it. That's the correlation there. So hey, we both got beat up by Braun, so let's join forces, I guess. So Braun takes exception to this. He comes down to the ring. Gulak puts his finger in his face, and then he and this was, like, really odd, by the way. It was like Bryan came out, like, really early before even Drew and the B Team, I think, even said anything, if I'm remembering correctly, which was really odd. Like, that was very weirdly formatted. It was like, I thought maybe it was supposed to be a match, and then they didn't have the match, so I don't know what that was, but, talk about the waste of time right there. Talk about filler. You think of so many different things that they could have did with that time slot, but if it wasn't this, it would have been some other piece of garbage, basically. I'm just saying, it's like, when they wrote this segment, was it supposed to play out this way? It probably was. I mean, just how do so many things like this end up being so bad? And no one in WWE, no agent, no writer, Vince, Triple H, Stephanie, you name it. Every single Fox executive, every single person, yep, fine, perfect, good. And it'll probably be the same thing after this show. No one will utter a peep about it. And, like I said, we have no way of knowing, right? Besides with the dirt sheets, right? Which is 50% false most of the time. So, I need to ask the question. It's like, so obviously, nothing is changing. So, we have to assume that no one is saying anything. Otherwise, something would change on the show. Sami Zayn is backstage with Daniel Bryan, and I like how they at least address the point that, Zayn abandoned Bryan when he was getting attacked by the Fiend. And so he turns down Zayn's offer to join him and Nakamura Murphy and Cesaro, who for some reason wasn't even there. Like, Zayn's talking about Cesaro, but Cesaro's not even there, and he doesn't even have a match on the show, and he wouldn't even have a match on the show later on. So it's like, where was the guy? Where was Cesaro? He's, oh yeah, he wants you on the team. I'll speak for him, but he can't even stand there. Like, none of these guys even have a match. They don't have a promo. They have nothing to do. So Bryan says something, really random. He says, well, why don't you just pick Braun Strowman instead? And Zayn says, that, Strowman, we're supposed to be a team of artists. He's just big and strong. And, he turns around. And I have to say, like, Zayn, the way I was talking to Bryan, the way he reacted to Braun, I really, really liked this character for him. I can't even believe that one of the most positive things on the show is Sami Zayn. And I said this like a few weeks ago. You probably never thought you would hear me speak those words. But Sami Zayn is actually doing a phenomenal job with this neurotic character. I like it. He really works as a manager, as just being a talker, not wrestling. Keep him out of the ring, where we don't have to see the guy with his shirt off and everything like that. Just he's really, he's really like improved big time. They had him start talking a lot around the time of the Bobby Lashley angle, and he seems like he's really developed, even though he's been involved in so many bad storylines. He's really found his niche, and he really knows now what he's doing on the mic. And he's sounding a lot better. One of the best, I have to say. Which is more than what I could say for people like Bayley, and we will get to that in a second. But, I really liked all the facial expressions, the hand gestures. I mean, this, he's really like animated, but, in a better way than, say, Paul Heyman. Zayn is really starting to steal the show for promo-wise, and, it's not like this is even anything to speak of, really. It's not like there's nothing really special going on here, so you can't praise it too much. But he's being entertaining, and I enjoy watching his performances. Then we had the New Day and the Revival. I thought that they got rid of this rematch clause thing, but here we are having a rematch again. And of course, it's an NXT attack, and here comes Undisputed Era. And okay, so I don't know who it was, when I did my Raw review last week. Remember when I was talking about, a guy doing this? That was actually Roderick Strong, the former ROH Roderick Strong. I never remember him doing such stupid stuff like that. Or maybe it was Bobby Fish. I don't, whoever it was, this time it was actually Roderick Strong doing all this nonsense. This pounding on someone like this with both hands looks really stupid and really childish. It also looks like if you'd ever seen a street fight between two girls, or if you ever went to high school, of course you did. I hope you went to high school. You saw kids, hitting each other like in the back of the head. Like that's how girls would fight. They do these shots like to the back of the head as they're bent over. And they've even done that in WWE with the Divas. It looked like that. What a joke that looks like. This is not a beatdown. This is not a brawl. I see Wade Keller talking about, this was pretty good action. This was pretty laughable. These beatdowns that they're doing, it looks so phony, so fake, and so amateurish. It's like you go back and you look at like just, I know, people hate when I bring up the Attitude Era, that, like you just appreciate, you think back to all those brawls with like, remember when everyone hated on the Alliance storyline? But at least when they had the Alliance do run-ins and stuff, you actually had some punches because you had guys like Raven in there. You had guys like Taz in there, Chris Kanyon, guys that actually knew how to throw punches. Even the lower mid-card guys, these guys knew what they were doing. And, I just can't believe that you have so many of these former greats backstage training people. They have Shawn Michaels, even Triple H, a guy who knows how to throw a great punch. How, these are his boys, right? Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong. This Triple H is making these guys like the top act in his little NXT territory, his brand. Okay, so Triple H, why are the punches so bad? Why do these little attacks look like little girly fights? And I know that's going to annoy a lot of NXT fans, but it's the truth. Look at these fights. Compare them to the fights that we saw. Okay, you don't like the Attitude Era? The Ruthless Aggression Era. I mean, just compare different things. Well, bring up even ECW, bring up any era in WCW, and various times during TNA when they would do run-ins. Look at the Solid Punches. These are a bunch of amateurs. These are people, sleepwalking through these segments. It's like it's a big joke to them, like forget about performance and everything, and I know you're not a wrestler, you don't know how to throw a punch, but I'm saying you can clearly go back on the network and look at various run-ins from different wrestlers and different factions, and you'd see how these beatdowns look so much better compared to what we're getting now. But, these guys are the best thing going in NXT, so what do I know, right? I mean, is anybody, seriously looking forward to this Survivor Series? First of all, I don't even know how this is going to work. You're going to have 3 teams. So is it all 3, is there going to be 1 member of Raw, 1 member of SmackDown, and 1 member of NXT? And but here's the thing that I've got to ask the question. I looked it up on WWE.com before doing this video. So even though they're making it's WWE versus NXT, it's actually Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. So they're the ones invading the shows. Raw's not invading SmackDown. SmackDown's not invading Raw like what they did the previous year. So I don't understand this triple threat stuff. That doesn't really make any sense from the story that they're trying to tell here. What are they doing here? And I gotta tell you something. I listened to a little segment from what's that show that Corey Graves is doing now, where he actually said no one cares about the Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT brand supremacy. I heard that this guy asked if he could have a little bit of freedom, but holy Moses, holy cannoli, this guy actually gets on there and says that this is an announcer on SmackDown, for years an announcer on Raw. He goes out there on this show, not on this show, but the show that he has on the network or wherever it is, and he actually says that no one cares about this stuff, and he knows it. And he knows it. And no one in WWE, McMahon, no one like Triple H is saying hey, he's right. No one does care. This is such a joke. I mean, it really does seem like if you really weigh all of this stuff all together, it's almost like they're doing this on purpose. They're purposely trying to make it bad, because you even have people going on shows saying that it's bad. Honestly, are they gonna have CM Punk come out on this WWE Backstage show? And is he gonna also criticize the product every week? If they know it's bad, then why not make it better? I don't understand the point of this. And everyone's gonna mark out. I see everyone marking out. Corey Graves said, yeah, okay, he marked out, but I don't really view that as a positive. I view that as a negative. This guy's actually burying the product that he works for, making it look even worse by exposing it. So I never got why people marked out in promos for people burying other people, burying other things they're doing on the show. It just makes me think about it more and think about just how truly terrible it is that even the employees on, WWE produced programming are saying that it's bad. I mean, come on. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. Then we get Heavy Machinery defeating some jobbers for whatever reason. I guess because last week they didn't have their scheduled match. So here, they had a match. Great. I mean, I never understood this. These guys were in Saudi Arabia in a match to decide who was the greatest tag team in the world. And now they're facing jobbers. So, what's the point there? I don't know. To give them a good win against nobodies? what does this do for Heavy Machinery? They're already established. I mean, what are we doing here? Is it like if someone happens to be tuning in for the first time to Fox, Heavy Machinery getting a strong win over Jobbers? That's good TV. That's going to keep people glued to their TV sets. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. I mean, it's really like one bad thing after another on this show. No effort, no nothing. Just, hey, let's have a jobber match. Oh, okay. After some lousy looking punches and a really amateur looking brawl, let's just have some, a jobber match that you've seen 1,000 times. Nikki, well, before we get to this, like, I guys, if I had to choose, I'd probably say that Sasha's better than Bayley when it comes to promos. But, that's like saying a lot of, different things. What's better, garbage or trash? It's, it's a synonym. It's like basically almost the same thing. So Bayley, is just so bad. If Sasha is horrible, then Bayley is the old cliche, the dumpster fire. Because every single time she does this promo, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm not feeling the haircut. I don't know. I thought maybe like, oh God, thank God she got rid of the side ponytail. But now it's like I just really can't stand to look at her. I don't know what it is. I really just don't. You've seen in my promos, I hate to be mean for the, just being mean. I'm not even trying to be fun. I don't like the look of this girl. Every time I see her on my TV, it's instant dislike. I don't know what it is. I tried to like just not be biased with it and give a fair assessment. I just don't like her. But okay, but if she gave good promos, that I would say that in all honesty. But she is just like the spacing on her words. It's like a robot. It's like basically creative, like feeds a piece of paper in her mouth. She digests it and regurgitates all the words that were on those papers in the most computerized, robotic fashion possible. Because that's how it sounds. It's like a robot talking. It's like a computerized, like automated machine. So anyway, we get the match. It's Nikki Cross and Bayley. Shayna Baszler chases off Bayley. Then you've got Rhea Ripley, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, and Mia Yim all come in, and this brings out Carmella and Dana Brooke, and we have an 8-man tag out of nowhere. Never mind that Nikki Cross and Bayley was to determine who got the last spot on the Women's Survivor Series team. So, that's out the window. So I guess they're going to maybe have that match next week or forget about it. I don't know. It was never addressed again. But we have this match. First of all, the only one who looks like on the NXT side that she's anybody is Rhea Ripley. These other guys are girls, excuse me, are what? Especially Tegan Knox, what? These girls are just coming in here and oh, you're tuning in to Fox and you see these girls, are you gonna care? This is not a Trish Stratus, this isn't Alita, they're not popping off the screen at you, they're just they look like regular girls, very average girls that there's nothing there. There's nothing. They just pop out of the crowd. Am I supposed to be excited? Am I supposed to have instant facial recognition? I know Tegan Knox was there, but Mia Yim, oh yeah, I watch NXT all the time. No, if you didn't watch NXT or watch her in the Mae Young Classic, you wouldn't even know who she is. So everyone else is left scratching their heads, and I guess, the smarks are marking out while everyone else is just not caring. And it's been a lot of not caring based on the ratings, but of course, oh, you don't even know who they are, so you shouldn't be commenting on them. That's what I hear all the time. It's like, no, I should be commenting on them. Because actually, it's better that I'm not really familiar with these NXTers, because here's a fair opinion. They come on the show. They look like nobodies. If I watched NXT and I maybe grew attached to some of these people, maybe I would. But it's better that I don't, because that way I could fairly say that these people really look like nobodies going in. Especially like, but at least like give us a promo. I mean, maybe Tegan Knox is a great promo girl. I haven't heard that from anybody. But, like, you wouldn't know it. You just see her there, and she's just another random female wrestler. And they've got plenty of those. You damn well know they got plenty of those. Then at the end, so the WWE girls win. Sonya Deville comes running out. Hey, remember when she was going to be that wild card? I guess that was her big moment that they were talking about. She was, going to be the big star of the draft to surprise everybody. Remember when that Fox sports commentator said that? Then we've got the last segment, and it's Daniel Bryan in the ring, and we've got Bray Wyatt up on the Titantron, and he asked Bryan, does he want to play? He takes the title out of a toy box. I like the way how this whole thing was formatted. And Daniel Bryan says he doesn't want to go back to the Yes Movement. He says, that he's unhinged and that he's the right person to face, Bray Wyatt. This was like the most random, like, jettisoned storyline I've ever seen. Like, there's no reason for Bray Wyatt to have any motive to attack Daniel Bryan, but he does it anyway, just because he's on SmackDown, and because he just got finished with somebody on Raw. He needs a whole new opponent. Instead of coming up with some clever story to try to intertwine two competitors together, it's just like, let's have him randomly attack somebody backstage. I guess because he sees potential in him as an opponent. Like, the laziest storytelling that you could ever have. But I guess I should applaud it for any sort of story at all. Trying to tell the story that Bryan feels that he's crazy enough to challenge. Bray, I'm trying to say, Bryan, but it's Bray. Bray says that, Bryan should, give him an answer. And he wants him to say yes, but Bryan says no. And then he says, he's trying to goad him into saying yes. And then, Bryan asks him, will he accept his challenge? Then Bray does yes. Yeah, and I get it. Like, he repeated yes like 30 times in a row. And I get it. It's supposed to be creepy. It's supposed to be crazy. But this is like when they had Paul Heyman constantly repeating, Brock's record after beating The Undertaker. It sounded stupid, like, after a while, like, okay, like, shut up already, like, it's enough. Like, you said yes 1,000 times, really loudly. It's like, I'm just saying, like, this is, again, another moment where I have to say, if you were watching this with someone else who's not used to all this cringy stuff on wrestling, they're going to turn to you like this and be like, dude, this is what you watch on Friday? Like, I mean, like, it's just so weird. Like, the opening segment, a guy comes out in a dog suit and starts bowing down to a guy dressed like a king. I get it. It's wrestling, but, like, and there's been many silly moments in the I mean, I'm talking about a company that's came up with the gobbledygooker and, and Mantar and all these other characters, but, like, we also had the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, and we've had so many different things that were not childish and foolish, that were really cool and were, like, culturally iconic. And so this is why, like, sometimes I even though I say we shouldn't be surprised, I can't help but rant against it, and I can't help but keep bringing it up because it's just, I just don't know how it could be this bad. I feel like it should be impossible for anything to be this bad when they have a history of being so good at times. But, I mean, man, going into Survivor Series, I mean, I am sure that we're going to get a good match. Like, this is a match that I don't think I'm going to watch Survivor Series, guys. That review is, like, really, like, on the ropes. You know, I guess a little bit of a wrestling pun there. But I will definitely watch the Bray Wyatt-Daniel Bryan match. That seems like that could be a really good match. That was another thing that Corey Graves said. He's not looking forward to, like, the mood lighting, the red lighting. I actually really like that. Corey Graves is a goofball. Whatever. You know, I agree about Survivor Series not meaning anything anymore with him, but, you know, I don't agree about that, about the red lighting. I like that, but whatever, guys. Terrible show. Horrible show. SmackDown is a disaster on Fox, but it doesn't look like Fox really cares for some reason. Don't know why. I don't know why. But there you go, guys. So let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.